It's over. So many of you saw the presidential debate election that happened recently, and it was a doozy. So it was Donald Trump versus versus Joe Biden, and Joe's Joe's performance was not very good. He was not very coherent. He was making constant mistakes. He looked dazed, didn't know where he was. He struggled to speak. He could not even get off the stage by himself. Jill Biden, his wife, had to come and escort him off the stage, and then she was praising him like a child for actually being able to answer all of the debate questions. It was an absolutely disgusting thing that we witnessed, where they put this poor individual there in this kind of condition. And I mean, I could never imagine doing that to a loved one, putting them in that type of condition before everyone and allowing them to do this. It was absolutely wrong of his family to allow this to happen, the people around him to allow this to happen. It was truly detestable. And now you have members in the media who are just now who are saying, yeah, how long are we going to pretend like we're not seeing this? All the Democrats are freaking out. The Democrats are in panic mode. Everyone saw it for themselves completely. And now they're discussing replacing him, but it's a very hard thing to replace him as the candidate. For example, all the money that was raised in the campaign, what are they going to do? They're saying Gavin Newsom might be replaced by Gavin Newsom, which is something that I thought was possible. He may run for president instead of Joe Biden. But, and they'll make that decision in August. The thing is, how is Gavin Newsom going to run for president when running for president costs a lot of money? And you have to start campaigning easily a year before all of this. It's like Kanye trying to run for president again and getting on the ballot. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. We're going to jump into the video. I want you guys to just see exactly what happened.
Jill Biden leads the 81-year-old president off stage by the hand after the train wreck debate performance.
You spent too much time in the gym.
Biden appeared more energized at a Waffle House after the debate, cracking wise and defending his performance.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question.
And Dr. Jill was cheerleader in chief with supporters at a watch party.
And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Why?
Now some say it's up to her and others close to him to persuade Biden to end his bid for a second term.
How long do we continue to act like that we didn't see what we just saw last night?
The First Lady, the President's sister. Those are the kinds of people who turn to him and say, sir, it's time to consider stepping aside.
Melissa DeRosa is a Democratic Party strategist.
I think that family has to be asking itself a lot of tough questions today. If that were my father that was on that stage last night, I wouldn't feel right about this. If he can't demonstrate to the American people that he can do the job, then I think it's incumbent on those around him to be honest with themselves and with him and figure out a replacement quickly.
Many are wondering if party power brokers like Barack Obama, Bill and Hillary Clinton, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi will have a heart-to-heart talk with Biden and tell him, Joe, you gotta go. The only reaction from Barack Obama so far, a post that says bad debate nights happen. One frontrunner to replace Biden on the ticket is California Governor Gavin Newsom. He found himself at the center of a media mosh pit in the spin room.
From my humble perspective, this is not about style. This is about delivering results for the American people.
If the president is persuaded to end his campaign, a new candidate would be chosen at the Democratic convention in August in Chicago.
You're seeing a lot of high-profile Democrats keeping their head down this morning because they're not really quite sure what path to go down.
Guys, in August, so you have to raise tons of money to become president. If Joe Biden ends his campaign, all of the money that was donated to him, to my understanding, that money cannot just be transferred over to some other candidate. That money would have to go back, I believe, to the people who donated it, but it's not going to go back. But it's not going to go to, it cannot go to Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom would have to go and raise all of that money on his own. It's a very, very big endeavor to run for president. This is crazy. And as you can see, they're not really putting Kamala Harris out there saying that, hey, we Kamala, maybe they'll try. Maybe they'll try because, they say presidents are selected, not elected. But this is not looking good to go and say, okay, well, we're going to pick someone else in August. Guys, this is like, everyone should be asking this question right now. Who's actually running things? Because Joe is struggling. So who's really, leading things right now? I'm just asking this question. Who's helping Joe with the everyday to day things, making decisions? It's a very good question. Because if he's struggling like this, it seems there's obviously someone that's helping him make decisions. So really, what's really happening at the White House right now is a very, very serious situation, an extremely serious situation. It's intriguing. It's interesting. Coming up very soon, they're going to decide whether or not presidents have like complete immunity while they're in office. That's something that they're going to rule on very soon. The Supreme Court. If Trump doesn't get that, then there's going to be some serious issues for Joe. And I think if he ends up if he's not president next year and their investigations done and he ends up on trial, they'll basically say that he is not competent enough to stand trial, which is something that the DOJ did say when the whole records thing happened, and he said that he's a well-meaning old man and he would not be competent enough to stand trial. So it's really looking bad. We have another video that we're going to jump into that kind of illustrates more why we're even replacing him at this point is insane.
Many Republicans and Democrats are openly asking if the president should step down and allow someone to replace him on the ticket.
Some of you have even asked if it's possible after we've already held primary elections. 10 Tampa Bay Verify anchor Josh Sidorowicz explains what party rules have to say about it. Josh.
We are less than 2 months from the Democratic convention when the party officially chooses its nominee. The nominee is the person, of course, who has the most delegates based on state primary election results, which is Biden. As it stands right now, the Democrats' own rules mandate those delegates must support him in the convention, saying they shall, in all good conscience, reflect the sentiments of those who elected them. Now, if Biden were to step aside, that would be a different story, but neither he nor the White House has given any indication that is even on the table right now. If that were to happen, well, then you'd have an open convention. According to Elaine Kammark, an expert on conventions and the director of the Center for Effective Public Management at Brookings, she explained in a recent podcast with the New York Times, that's how conventions used to work before the modern primary system came into play around the 1970s. So, yes, it could be possible to replace Biden as the nominee, but at least at this point seems unlikely. And there is nothing in the current DNC rulebook, by the way, about an open convention scenario. With your Verify, I'm Josh Sidorowicz.
So right now it's between a rock and a hard place. This is a rock. It's between a rock and a hard place. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. And this is just what. This is the first presidential debate. This is just the first presidential debate. They can try and do whatever they want to get it ready for the next one. Although I honestly feel like they're going to try to prevent him from debating again, or I don't know how they're going to go about it. I really don't know how they're going to go about it. But as far as it looks to me, it's over. Really, really does look like it is over to me. Yes, sir. It was a very bad evening. It was definitely a very, very bad evening. But things happen and the world goes on and the wheels keep on turning. The world is collapsing around us and there's not much else we can really do. That's why MWA is so important. Walking away, looking at what your alternatives are and focusing on those, focusing on your self-development, self-preservation, self-care. What do you guys think about it? About all of this, guys? Do you agree it's over? It's over. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.